Ladies and gentlemen, let us take you on a magical journey of fuel pump upgrade and some failures and some wins and some information and some key product placement along the way. Please enjoy your stay. Gotta say here, all the Milwaukee products I'm using right now are ones that I purchased myself, and I recently got this 12 volt fuel impact, and it's quickly becoming one of my favorites. Just wanted to throw that out there. The shirt I'm wearing was provided by a viewer, a fan of the page. And he had sent in batteries, a shirt, and many other things like letter opener, markers, all sorts of cool shit. Alright, what I got going on here is I want to put this second pump in, and I'm going to evaluate my feed wire. And I think it's kind of small, but it was, for the single pump. So we're going to see what's actually there. I think I just cut it somewhere down here and put it in, tied it in. So I'm going to work on that. I might just immediately go to my bigger wiring, because this was only ever designed to be for the single. Looks like I RTV'd the shit out of this. So I got to razor blade a little bit of this out. Then I can disconnect the return and the feed and hook up the second pump. And I might just run, I think I still have all the power wires from when I did do the bigger, all three pumps. So I might just throw that right in instead of screwing around, because I want to see I ran out of fuel, approximately 17 pounds, so I just want to dyno it on 17 and tell you guys that's pretty much it. I don't want to chase low fuel pressure issues at high horsepower again and break something. So I should actually vacuum that real quick, so I'm not dealing with trying to hammer the ring back in and none of this shit. Oh yeah, hey, check this out. Oh yeah. Milwaukee. They make some nice stuff. I bought this. I bought 90% of the Milwaukee stuff you're seeing today. I was a fan of them before they were a fan of me, if you can follow that hipster logic. Actually, what I should do is, once that's loose, it's probably going to be a pain in the ass to try to get this cut. Actually, no, it's cutting pretty easy with a brand new razor blade. So I'm going to cut. Who knows why I did this? I was feeling froggy, I guess. So now we can all watch me learn from my mistake. I wonder how full my tank is. I drove it around quite a bit, and then I dumped an additional 6 gallons in. Okay, fuel squid removal. Hike your pants up. Now there's only one pump on my squid right now, so it's not as exciting to see it all come out. We're gonna see how everything held up. Sitting in high E content for a long time. My Parker hoses have been in here for like a year. They look great, actually. We'll see once we... Yep, you know, just make a damn mess. There's the squiddy. So there is the single pump, and you can see where I used to have the second and third pumps in here. I just hooped it for now, obviously. So what I'm gonna do is feed the other pump in and put a plug on here, probably. Be the easiest way to do it. There's still fuel coming out of everything. And then we will redo some more fuel wiring again and trim a little bit RTV out of here. But other than that, everything looks like it's holding up pretty good. My 5/8 hose looks okay. Maybe a tiny bit soft, but nothing looks bad. That's nice to know, right? Sitting in over 50% ethanol for a long time, holding up. You know, who knows how long. I don't know if it's permanent or not, but we have had really good luck with it. That's all I can say. We've been doing pretty good. So let me get my second pump on and worry about, you know, getting the second power leg to this, whether I want to run a second thing in and stage it, or do I want to run power to the 2 all the time and see if it overruns on my base pressure. Not really sure. I'm going to decide that in the next 5 minutes. Alright, and while I decide, I got to get rid of this hose for now. Get these hose clamps off. Garage door's creaking over there? Windy or what? Get these guys off. I'm going to put a plug on one of them and then use the other one as the fuel leg. Which one should I use? I don't know. The easiest probably to plug the bottom. So I'll leave this connected because this might looks like it might be a pain in the ass. I kind of want to run both pumps hot because that supposedly overruns everything. And I don't want to stage them really. I don't know if I can explain why I don't want to stage them. Because part of me wants to know, like, does it overrun it? And if I put a cheap regulator on, is that going to make it happy? Do I just cut this one? Probably just end up cutting it. It's so tight on these barbs. Yeah, let's just... Clean cut. Alright, ready for fuel pump number 2. Let's take this guy. Zippy doo-dah. Zippy day. Fuel line looks okay. Those are just the marks from the barb, but it's not disintegrating or deteriorating. Check it out. It has been in there for quite some time, and it looks pretty good. I mean, that has just been soaking it up. And second pump will go on here. We'll figure out what that guy is quick. We'll blast it off. What do you think, like a 15? I'm terrible at this game, guys. Holy shit, it's like a 19. Or a 7/8. Let's go right to the 19. Oh, the 19's too big. Let's get the 18 and the 17 and end this once and for all. That's pretty good. It's close enough. Alright. Damn, who tightened that? Anyway, yeah, that's my hydraulic block. I forget where I got it, honestly. I ordered it off the internet because I couldn't find exactly what I wanted. And I think later on, I think John Bewley, Little John Motorsports, actually showed me like a MagnaFuel sells a triple Y that like I could not find the fuel parts when I wanted them. The tape seems like it's holding up. It has taken the tape off of like the exposed threads, but the tape hasn't disintegrated. It's still here. They said I should use that ethanol safe tape. Either way, we're gonna plug this guy, put the second pump on here. Where do we have PTFE thread tape. Got this guy. We'll tape the plug up with the nice blue tape. Someone sent me this. Thank you guys. Always looking out. I don't think I've ever bought thread tape. When you get compressor stuff, it comes with like a real shitty thing. Mostly that's, yeah, we'll just plug this guy. Then we'll have 2 pumps. Same size. Yeah, she's good. She's good for it. Hose looks fine. Let's dig up the second pump. I got it in the box right here. And you know, I'm still thinking about, do I power it all together? Do I power all of them at once? Both of them? I run separate wires so I can change my mind later? Or do I try to regulate it? I mean, I had 3 and my base was a little bit high with a regulator. So maybe I'll just run both hot and see what happens. Then I have to take it apart to stage it. You know, this is life's most important questions right here. Oh, why did I do that? Yeah. I always do that. I even looked at it and I'm like, you should put that on before you do. And then I didn't. Right? Alright, doing good. We'll clamp this guy. A little bit on the inside. There's 2 Wally 450s. Technically, you know, in my 2000 Silverado, I had 2 450s in the tank. I probably didn't have enough wiring on them. I ran a hot wire, but thinking back, it probably wasn't enough now that I know what I know. But I'm just going to wire them together at this point. I feel like that's my best bet. Just wire them hot all the time. I don't really like relying on the switch to work. I mean, if it was the ECU switching an output, I would feel more comfortable. But as far as, you know, relying on external events, it's fine if your boost controller doesn't go up, but if your second pump doesn't come on when everything else is going ape shit, that's a concern. Alright. Fucking rubber thing is ridiculous. Just get rid of it. There we go. Goodbye. Okay, so this I'm going to attach to this and then re-shrink it. And then we're going to run both pumps hot. And I got to put the sock on. And I probably won't even keep these connectors. Nope, this hose. Nope, goodbye. I'll keep these little hose clamps. Other than that, why open a Ziploc when you have a razor blade handy? Gorilla that on sideways. There we go. Ready to rock. So we'll get this wiring done. And we'll test the amperage draw. And dunk the tank back in. Alright guys. Quick and dirty, I just started soldering these guys in. Just legged them in together. And we'll check out power and everything else later. I'll hit it with my clamp and do some other stuff. But for now, I'm going to do it quick and dirty. See how it works out. See if I can give a recommendation. And shrink wrap them nice. Okay, right back in where you came from. It's easy to do like this because you can put one pump in. And once it's in, you can jam the other pump in. instead of dealing with, you know, the hat being gigantic, this has really proved useful. Then what I like to do is try to wiggle it to the back. This tank is a giant rectangle. You see this tank like a giant rectangle this way. So I like to try to get the pumps in the back. If I can slide them back there, because when I accelerate, everything sloshes to the back anyway. Makes sense. Put the ring on. I'm pretty proud of how this hat came out. There we go. Huh. Just modified the stocker. Huh, it looks like it's all... Damn, I did a good job that time. Sometimes you chase this for a little bit and it doesn't go how you want it to. It's in. We're done. We're done, boys. Hook it up. I'm gonna leave this stuff apart. And then leave the bed and everything open, and I'll start the truck and check the fuel pressure and the amperage draw. And if the amps are not high enough, I'm gonna move. What the issue was before is it couldn't ground out that well, so I'll run another, I'll change my feed wire out again to be more robust again, all in the name of science. Here's the vent. Here's the return. I'll get the return on. And we'll crank down on the feed. Oh yeah, I forgot to tighten that. I'm not gonna do it now again. This is what happens. That bulkhead that spins a little bit. I mean, I guess the ultimate solution for this is there's a company I was watching on Sloppy the other day, or somewhere, and a guy builds billet hats. Like, you send him the dimensions. Okay, here's a cute one for you guys. Obviously, I'll include some pictures. I'm having a little bit of a leak in the back for some unknown reason that we will discuss real quick. But with both pumps and the stock regulator being that small, I'm at like 80 PSI base, which I did get on video. I'll show you. It's funny. So I think I'm just going to try to cut this and drop the China regulator in quick. And I got a whole... this was like 30 bucks. I keep getting cheaper ones and they keep being the same ones, so, you know, good test. We'll throw this guy on and see if we can handle it. The big thing here is I don't like these China stainless lines at all. Sometimes I use them for vacuum line. Most of the time I bin them. So I'm gonna keep using my Parker stuff, and then what I like to do is I just jam the Parker over these guys usually work pretty good. I just get rid of the collar, spin them on. Sometimes I hose clamp them if they feel like shit, but all these fittings, a pressure gauge, which I'm gonna, you know, I'd like to verify this gauge with my, not that it's probably much better, but this Summit one has always been good to me. Let's just say that. So we're gonna test, you know, we're gonna see which one, if there's any discrepancy, let's just go with that. So, gonna assemble this guy, you know, blah, 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 go like this, go like that, and put it on and try to get it under control. The other stupid issue here is it is leaking out of my feed, out of the collar. It, like, as you can see, it's still wet. It's like spraying out of this collar. I don't understand. I mean, that's loose. That's the bulkhead down below, but this is tight. I don't get why it's not sealing. So I'm gonna take it apart again, like another 3 times, and see if I couldn't see anything that was obstructing it. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe it just has a little bit of a fitment issue because it has never really leaked before. So I'm gonna start stabbing everything together, and we'll be right back. Alrighty. Roadblock number 1, be prepared for. I can't remember before what I did, but these are O-ring, like a, what is that called? Orb or whatever, where it has a rounded edge. It came with one block-off disc, and that had an O-ring. So I removed it using a nice little pick, was careful with it, And I have a thing of O-rings, and I'm going to O-ring, obviously, the fittings that I put in, you know, up, down, bottom, left, right. So I only need 3. And this guy seems to be the same one when I like overlap them or do whatever. Pretty much the same damn O-ring. So maybe it's slightly bigger, slightly. So I'm going to put those on the fitting and tighten them up and see how they do. And then we're just going to get straight to it. I don't think I'm going to cut this one yet, but I'm going to cut this in the middle. You can see my old 10 from when I had the triple pumps and no excuses feed. I want to cut this guy, but I think I'm going to hold off and make sure the regulator doesn't leak like a bitch and make sure it works before I cut this. Or actually, I have enough fittings that I can just put some fittings in the middle if it gets all hosed. Not like I can really run it anyway right now because it's overflowing the regulator. One other funny thing I thought would be to put the regulator on this guy, the test port, but I don't think it's going to flow enough to bypass, so we're just going to bypass the feed, see how it does, and then still got a monkey with that. But yeah, O-rings, if you don't have O-rings, make sure you get an O-ring pack. This almost look like injector 14 mil O-rings. I wonder if that's what those are, but anyway, I'm going to put them together and see how if they leak, and if we need to add some other bullshit to the list. And here we go. Oh yeah. Torque to spec. Got the M12 fuel turned on low. Actually, it's turned on high. Whoopsie daisy. But that feels pretty good. It feels pretty good and tight. And if the O-ring was the wrong size, it would have bulged it out one of these corners like crazy. So we're going to call that a day. Play my flute. Everything looks good visually. So I think we're going to, you know, do some of this and some of that and see if I have I'm going to cap my return on my rails. All right, let's get into a lengthy explanation here. I ended up rebuilding everything from the pumps to the front of the truck on the feed because my Dash 10 fitting, the flare, and the bulkhead were leaking no matter what I did. And I was like, well, a 10 is unrealistic for this build anyway. I just have it because it was on my truck. So I went through my bins and I had a bunch of 1/2 inch. So I decided to convert it all to 1/2 inch. And I used just a Liquid Industries Y fitting. And to plug the giant Dash 10 fitting, like the hole where the fitting was, I used, you can see here, a 3/8 pipe fitting in the top. So then I just fitted everything with 6s, and I had 1/2 inch hose, and I had adapters to go from 1/2 inch hose to 6 fittings. And I put the regulator in, and I was able to get the base with both pumps running hot down to 55 PSI, which I thought would be excellent for, you know, continuing on with the experiment because stock is 58, so 55 was mint. So in my next clips here, I really didn't get much on video because I was so damn frustrated and running around like an idiot and already was stuffy and mouth breathing and sick and running out of time to do this stuff. So here's a quick clip of the fittings in the hat, and that's all dry actually. I was looking for leaks, I vacuumed out the rest. So that's doing good, and then up front is everything else, and then while it's idling, I'm just showing some other stuff. Like I was saying, other stuff. Here's the fuel block that I removed that was just unnecessary. There's the 10, and here's the stupid bulkhead that was leaking no matter what, that only has tiny marks on it. I can't really understand why it was leaking so bad, but who the hell knows? All right, guys, I'm out with the 2 pumps and the 1/2 inch feed. It is restricted by some Dash 6 fittings though, so it's 3/8. In a lot of spots it's a little bit small, but I'm more curious to see what the twin 450s will do with the big injector and the 3/8-ish hose. So I got the boost controller hooked up, and we'll see if my pressure switch works. And we'll see how much fuel I have up top, since I didn't have enough before. Hopefully we get towards 20 pounds and we have too much fuel. Yeah, we're all warmed up. I had it idling in the garage looking for leaks. Yeah, it's just 10.0 up top. I wonder how much boost it was.
Good thing you asked, you son of a bitch. I got the log right here. And we got to about 18 pounds, like normal, and it was just super rich, which obviously is exactly what we wanted to see. Excess of fuel, because we did not have that. So now we have too much, which is great. So now we can trim some out. So let's do that.
We'll leave the boost controller the same. The pressure switch is working because the solenoid was not on, and I rolled into it, and then my boost controller worked. Okay, we'll flash this thing. BRB. Waiting to go. Waiting to go. Okay. I'm still at 18 pounds and 10 degrees of timing. What I consider to be conservative. Oh yeah, this is a no outlet. Let's go right to 76%. Hit it with a little bit more boost. We'll trim the high spot first. Okay, looking good. First, second, third. Up here, we'll roll into it. Well, I was just laying rubber like crazy. It's all rubber. And I had like a high 10 air fuel, I think. So I'm pleased with that. Let's check the log.
He said log. All right. And yeah, I had excessive wheel spin just by trimming fuel out. So everything is looking good to make a few dyno pulls. Just rolling into this thing. I made a tiny bit less boost, but that's because it was spinning the tires so damn bad. And, but everything looks great. I wasn't going to push my luck. I didn't have much more free time, as I am strapped for that lately, and the rerunning my entire fuel feed at the drop of a hat out of spare parts was not something I wanted to do, but I did anyway. So we're going to lean on this thing on the dyno in the next couple days when I can and see how everything goes. It has mostly high ethanol content, 60%. It's good enough for me. And I figure the only thing that's going to limit me is my 4-pound wastegate is going to stop giving me boost at like 20 pounds. So I might, if I can load up my regulator and everything at the dyno is working with the compressor, I might push on the top of the wastegate a little bit. And, you know, if everything is going well and I'm feeling froggy, it'd be neat to put down some good numbers if that ends up happening. You know how that stuff goes if you've ever been to the dyno. So wish me luck, and by the next video, we should see some horsepower numbers and results out of the double pumps and how the 210s are doing with the stock computer and how much power we can make without squirting the rods. See you then.